Hello, must be Mike. Oh, especially considering that no one has this number except like two people in the whole world. Well, actually, three people now, including you. Well, it's a new number. Uh, I lost. Well, there's that too though. But anyway, so what's up, Michael? Oh, Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year. And you know what, God, let's hope it's about I don't know how good your year was or wasn't, but let's just hope it's about a billion times better for the planet than last year. Yeah, no doubt. Oh, awesome. Well, that's cool, dude. You should have like a camera inside your car and ask permission of people if Um, and just, oh, by the way, well, maybe you shouldn't. I don't know, but it'd be cool to put that kind of stuff on YouTube. That would be an awesome channel. Just to watch, you and like on one camera on one side of the screen and the other person on the other, on the other camera in the back. Do a split screen and the conversation, and then of course you edit it and you clean it up a little. Yeah, but see stuff I do on YouTube. I don't know if you've watched. I know you've watched at least one or two of my videos, but I don't do any. But I don't do any. Oh, but before you continue, I don't do any editing. It's just I just record myself, total stream of consciousness. But what were you moved by? Oh, yeah. Like I just whatever happens happens. I don't know which video that was because I think I've tried like maybe in two or three videos so far. But yeah, I love that fucking song, man. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. I don't know why that song should have been a number one hit. And I'm and again, I'm glad it wasn't because you know what? I think that saved that song. It gave that song like a special place in the world. Like whereas Hotel California equally beautiful, but that song has been so overplayed that it destroyed it a little for me at least. It's like I don't want to hear Hotel California again unless I'm putting the album on to listen to the album. But that's a different.
Or like mix it in with a special moment of some kind.
Well, not yeah, that too, but also the fact when you're listening to an album, you want to listen to the Eagles, you want to listen to this album, you remember this album. But when you're listening to KGB and Back in Black is playing or whatever, and then suddenly Hotel California comes on, and then after that Bohemian Rhapsody, and after that Hey Jude, and it's like you're going, okay, KG. Well, even though they have expanded their playlist, I've noticed in the last year, but for like 10 years, they only played like 500 songs. It was the
Yeah.
same 500 songs over and over. I'm like, come on, dude. Don't you have more than four Queen songs in your catalog? Don't you have more than eight Beatles songs in your catalog? I don't want to keep hearing the same songs by Leonard Skinner over and over and over.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
you've worked in radio, so you know that just screams survey. You know.
Well, 100%. And see, it used to be bad in the 80s and 90s, because we always had to follow guidelines, and surveys and all that shit. But as a music director, I was a music director like one and a half times in my career, but I never followed the rules. And for that reason, two of the stations that I was associated with, the main one being 97 Croy, I took that station for like number 12 all the way to number one, like in a 6 month period. And
Wow.
only by just changing the music. And that station had,
Wow.
had never been number one in Sacramento for like more than 15 years. And when I say number one, there was always one
Yeah.
station that always beat everybody, and that was the news talk station KFBK. And like it was a clear channel station, news talk, just like it was the Kogo of Sacramento. Uh, they would, it hadn't been corporatized yet. It was kind of in the process of being corporatized, and they ended up becoming corporatized. Like halfway, like about a year and a half into me being there, and
Uh-huh.
and then I left and I went into the nightclub business after that because I started realizing radio is gonna suck. You know, it.
What years were you in radio?
Um, I started. If I want to be technical, I started in 1979 at kRAT in Sacramento, which was my high school radio station, and uh, and it broadcast about a one.
Memories.
Yeah, but it broadcast about a 1 mile radius on the AM, and it had speakers all over campus that would play during morning, before school started for like half an hour, and then during the 1 hour lunch break, and then for about 45 minutes after school ended. And I don't know if you ever saw the movie Dazed and Confused. I'm sure you did.
Yeah, you know what?
You
I've
probably
got
don't.
it at home, so I'll watch it just to make sure.
But that's of course that took place in Southern California in the mid 70s.
Yeah.
I went to a Northern California high school, Sacramento, in the mid 70s. But the two high schools are almost identical, except
Oh,
except just the way people dressed and the way people talked. And I'm sure you remember the mid 70s.
sure.
I don't know
I
what
was in high school. Yeah.
I don't know if you should watch Dazed and Confused and see if it reminds you of your high school at all.
I will.
And I love to know, but and see, I never smoked marijuana in high school ever, or in college, or during my entire 25 years in radio and nightclubs and just being in the music
Oh yeah.
scene, because I thought it was bad. I thought it was an evil. Well, number one, it was illegal, and
Yeah.
and I'm glad I never tried it, because I probably would have fallen in love with it back then, and then I would have always been paranoid. And am I going to get busted? And I think that would have made
Oh yeah.
that would have made the experience bad for me, knowing how
Yeah.
sensitive I am.
Can I jump in?
Oh, please, please.
I smoked it once in an isolated experience. On the way to junior high school, we were walking to school, and then we dipped in behind some little field or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was just a weird thing. But I just had kind of a couple isolated experiences like that. And it was because it was naughty. It was like I think that's what threw me at that time.
Well, I understand that.
We're not
Yes.
supposed to be doing this.
Right. And it's funny because I was the opposite. I was the kid that wanted to follow the rules my entire life. I've,
Wow, that's cool.
I've been a rule player, except I had my dark side a little. I would sneak out at night sometimes when I was 16, 17 years old. And
I
rule
like that.
player. I've been a rule 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 player.
Wow, that's cool.
I've been a rule player. 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 I've been a rule player.
Wow, that's cool.
I've been a rule player. I've been a rule. I've been a rule player. 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 I've been a rule player.
Wow, that's cool.
I've been a rule player. I've been a rule. I've been a rule player. 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 I've been a rule player.